5 series. Of course, is in the Grand Arena. Oh, baby, boys and girls. As you can see, Balance has entered the arena. He's here to play. And we also got the one and only Super Tease from Tony on the team, Tony from the Bronx. So it is a Turbo Cleave versus Walking Dead. Now, I have no idea who has an advantage in this matchup, but I feel it in my bones that the Walking Dead Cleave have some sort of an advantage. What do you think?
I think they do. I think that what they're going to do is try to swap to Super Tease. They might even train him down, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be hard for this Turbo Cleave to really get any pressure against this team. And Super Tease is going to be in a lot of trouble, but we'll see how it goes. Balance immediately putting down his Transcendence, running in, looking for Super Tease as fast as he can. He is going to open up on him. Bash comes out, and actually Balance is going to leave the game. So not sure what happened there, but
it's weird. Wonder what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and check in with these teams. That was well within 45 seconds, so they're good. But, what is going on? Wowzer8 has subscribed for 2 months in a row. Holy crow. That's pretty crazy. I feel like I can't believe that we even... Okay, no problem. They just need time to set up. They have plenty of time. They have like 0 minutes on their delay timer, so... but I'm amazed that someone is subscribed to our channel for 2 months in a row, considering I feel like we haven't been a channel. I guess we have. This is tournament number 9. That is more than 2 months.
Yeah, I think there's 4 weeks in a month. So
yeah, I could do math. So
just kidding.
That's
It's cool though. It's exciting, huh? Just wait, man. Time's gonna fly, and it's gonna say like 3 months, 4 months, a year.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And then it's going to say 25 months, and you're like, what am I doing? That happens to me.
Alright. Yeah, dude, I see those all the time. It does say like 25, 22 months in your stream all the time.
Like, wait, what?
Holy crap. Thank you so much for subscribing 2 months in a row, brother. I really appreciate that subscription. And, yeah. No, it's not that I don't realize that... don't realize that 9 weeks is longer than 2 months. It's just time didn't feel like it went by like that, okay? Like, I feel like last week was our first tournament.
I know, right? It's weird. So you guys have been doing an excellent job, must say.
Can't stop, won't stop. So jumping right back into the game, guys. It's 50 Shades of McQuade going up against Tony from the Bronx. This series decides who goes to the finals. And it is Tony from the Bronx's Turbo versus 50 Shades of McQuade's Walking Dead. Oh, baby. And I must say, I like Revo's transmog, and I'm a fan of his mount. It's just, Revo in general is just looking poppin', man. But
he's just a very stylish guy.
He's a very stylish guy, but we can't necessarily get away without talking about Melman. Melman is Balance's companion. The Windwalker monk brings him at least a 20% damage buff. It's pretty overpowered. And that's why Balance is just so good. He doesn't need, what was it called, Earth, Wind, and Fire?
I'm done. So we're probably going to see Balance just running in on Super Tease again as fast as he can. Just not even going to dismount. But they're just going to put a stop to that immediately, coming in, snaring Balance the Revolution. Balance is going to Flying Serpent kick in, but Super Tease is just going to sit in stealth. He knows he's the target of choice, and he's going to force this team to sort of open up on other people. Now he is safely behind the pillar, fully hotting himself, making sure they're not going to have a clean swap to him. Revolution and Balance taking a little bit of damage right now, but I don't think it's too much to be concerned about. They are going to swap over onto Super Tease, or at least try to. Finally, Balance using that Tiger's Lust to get over to him, but Super Tease immediately in bear form. And this Walking Dead, it hasn't really been able to put out much pressure right yet. Super Tease doing an excellent job kiting, popping that Heart of the Wild, trying to keep his team topped, as well as himself. The swap comes over. Super Tease in bear form, pre-bear forms that swap. Bar skins, and he's going to be fine for now. That was well done with the pre-bear form.
Yeah, now he gets hodged out in human form, but he does have bark skin up. Looks like it's going to be enough, and there's the full strangulate out of that. They really want to get some pressure onto Super Tease. The Super Tease is doing an excellent job pre-bear forming that leg sweep and everything. And that was Gargoyle and everything, and that's all down. And Super Tease didn't have to use all that much Lyrics now, trying to get the pressure onto Zileawong with his recklessness. Zileawong forced to use his wall. He's trying to pull back, bring Lyrics into a worse position. The spell effect comes out for Lyrics, just trying to prevent. That's the shockwave on Zileawong. He's getting dangerously low here. I think that was Saved by the Light proccing. I'm not completely sure. He's using his wings and execution sentence. He's going to be okay. Super T's in the background, forced to trinket that stun as he was caught out in human form.
Yeah, Balance actually had the Stormworth and Fire up on Super T's, puts it out again, and Super T's was just tanking that breath from Revo, so unfortunately he had to trinket that. Barkskin coming back up for him. He is still just sitting in bear. It looks like they are going to converge, both Balance and Revolution. Super T is just doing the dip using his Displacer Beast to get away. Meanwhile, Zileawong just keeping his team topped up, and Super T is forced to go into that Barkskin, gets caught in caster form. The Iron Bark comes out as well, and he's going to be very tanky for the moment, but once the Barkskin and the Iron Bark fades, he could be in a lot of trouble. The full strength comes out from Revolution onto Super T's. Super T's really doesn't have that many cooldowns left. The next stun on him could be very scary.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't even have a trinket. I mean, his bash is coming back up. Maybe he can use that to try to get away, but this DK and Unholy presence and this Windwalker monk connecting the Super T's, it's a lot of damage. He's just trying to kite these guys as best he can, but in the background, Zileawong's taking a lot of damage from
Here's the
this
full
turbo.
leg sweep with no Barskin and no trinket. If he gets caught into a Fisted Fury out of this could be the end of Super T's. The Hodge comes out, and he is just going to get touched to death. Absolutely. And that's the kind of swap they're looking for, is just when he has no Barskin and no trinket, if he gets caught in those stuns with no peels, he's just dead. There's nothing he can do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Holy crow. You're absolutely right. He had nothing left. He was caught in human form, and they ended it right then and there. I want to take a quick look at that replay. Let's see. I mean, the double shockwaves coming out from Lyrics definitely did help Super T's out, but I feel like if they're going for like a healer race, they're gonna lose out on that. But let's take a quick look at the replay. So watch Super T's. He's trying to get away. He's in that cat form, but you can't really run away from Windwalker Monk all that much. That's the full leg sweep on the Super T's. He's caught out in the human form with that leg sweep, and I mean, they're just doing so much damage out of that. There's the Hodge onto the DPS, but it didn't matter as the Fist of Fury came out from Balance, securing the kill. Super T's did not have a trinket at the moment, so that was a solid matchup. So that's the very first map of this best of 5 series. What the next map is going to be? So it's going to be the Turbo Cleave's choice. Does the maps even really matter in this matchup, man?
I think Super T's might want to play a map. If he feels like he's going to be the target of choice, a map like Blade's Edge could be really nice. So he can jump off and then get displacers and get up the ramp quickly and sort of leave the melee down. Balance is going to have that Z-axis port to get up to him quickly, but at least the DK will be stuck down there. Oh. And yeah, what I kind of like to see this game is when Super T's doesn't have his Barkskin and Trinket available, they're ready to peel for him, otherwise he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Right,
that communication, like, next swap, I'm done, please come back and help me. But they actually chose a different approach. They chose, I feel, kind of like the all-in SCVs. They're going to Ruins of Lordaeron. Alright, this is Ruins of Lordaeron, so instead of giving Super some breathing room, they actually kind of stuffed him in a corner. I don't know, we'll see if this works out for him. I feel like Super T's is going to be really scared on this map.
Me too. I don't know what the game plan is here. Maybe they're thinking they can get on Zileawong easier. Maybe they think they can win the healer race. I'm not sure, but I think this is going to be a nightmare for Super T's.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Yeah, on a map like this. Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, this still is a best of 5, and Tony's team does have some other tricks up their sleeve. But right away, it looks like the Turbo is going to start on to Balance. But Super T's now caught in a human form in that full stun. Barkskin is forced right here, and that is I'm sorry, I don't even know what that's called. Hurricane kick? What is that called?
Hurricane Strikes.
Hurricane Strikes. Revo, though, taking a lot of damage. AMS is forced as a double fear goes out on the Bounce and Zileawong, and Tony now caught in that Hex. Super T's is going to be the kill target for this 50 Shades of mcquade team, I feel, the whole game.
Yeah, and he actually got caught out of form there and only really had to use Barkskin, so good heals from Tony Jr., good pre-hoss from Supatees. Zileawong taking the brunt of the damage right now. Supatees popped that hard. He's going to have hard heals for the second Asphyxiate. The DR Hodge comes out, but Tony Jr. just spamming those heals on him. Maybe their plan for this map is Supatees can just stay in the open and Tony Jr. will easily be able to heal him. I mean, the Enhancement Shaman heals are so powerful, so maybe that's what they feel like their advantage is. Yeah. But Tony Jr. taking a little bit of damage here. Supatees still has that Heart of the Wild up. His hots are going to be very powerful at the moment. I think Tony Jr. should be fine.
Yeah, like you said, so they're relying on those enhancement heals. I love that. Oh, there's the full stun into human again, and Barkskin is used once again. Hodge out of the Barkskin out of that. Supatees just doesn't get a break. He's getting dangerously low. Barkskin still available. The triple shockwave coming out from Lyrics, peeling Supatees, and it looks like Supatees is gonna be okay for now, but man, that is so scary. Oh man, if this game goes to dampening, I feel like this enhancement heals aren't gonna be all that big a deal.
Yeah, I don't think this game will go to dampening, but we'll see. I mean, we look at Tony Jr.'s mana, he's almost so he has been healing a lot this game. Zileawong, Save by the Light comes out by him. Lyrics causing a lot of pressure with that Blade Storm at the moment. I'm still just going to sit on him. But Supatees having to pre-Ironbark himself, has full hots, and yeah, he doesn't have his Trinket available. He Trinketed the last stun in Ironbark, so this next swap, he's not going to have Barkskin and Trinket for a little bit of time. Balance actually taking a lot of damage. Touch of Karma coming out onto Supatees. He's not going to be the target of choice for now. They're not going to want to attack into that and cause more pressure on Supatees. But yeah, this Turbo Cleave is actually pressuring this Walking Dead Cleave quite a lot.
Yeah, there's the shockwave on Zileawong, and he's still low. Avenging Wrath is up, and Aura Mastery is used. That's Aura Mastery, Avenging Wrath, and his wall being used right there. But that's the leg sweep on the Supatees. A lot of damage going out. A Hodge out of that as well, and he has Barkskin up, but he's in human form into the Fist of Fury. So many stuns. Supatees is now in that full Strangulate, but he does go into bear form right before it. So it looks like he's going to be okay for now. But now Revolutio, he's taking a lot of damage. He's at 25% health here. Balance is hovering too. Can Zileawong pick up his team? But Lyrics has Recklessness going. He's just doing so much damage. The shockwave goes out onto Zileawong again, and it looks like they're going to be okay for now, but Balance, he's still hovering pretty low.
Yeah, Supatees is going to be, this is going to be a nightmare for him. He doesn't have his Ironbark and he doesn't have his Trinket available. If he gets caught out of a caster form, he could just go down. So he's going to have to play very, very safe, making sure he pre-hots himself, going to be in bear. Zileawong actually having to bubble there. So Zileawong has no Trinket or bubble. Supatees finally caught into that stun. He might just die 100-0 here. The DR leg sweep comes out. No Rallying Cry going to be available. The triple DR Hodge, and he is just going to die. And he was so close to surviving with the Barkskin. I feel like if he maybe preemptively Ironbarked himself and just sort of saw that swap coming a little bit more, he would have lived, because they had so much pressure against this 50 Shades of mcquade team.
Yeah, they absolutely did. Do you feel like, wow, yeah, I don't know. They did. I mean, at one point, Revo and Balance were both under 30% health there, but I mean, the trade for cooldowns, not even cooldowns, just Supatees having to use his defensives, and he eventually just gets tapped.
Yeah.
Alright, so now it is 2-0 for 50 Shades of mcquade. I feel like they're probably going to try your strat now, where they're going to avoid those small maps. They're going to try to give Supatees some breathing room.
I don't know. That was working for them really well, to be honest with you. If Supatees survived that swap, like if he had managed to get the Ironbark up before they stunned, he would have had Barkskin available, and then everything sort of falls into place from there, as Trinket would have been up. And they had a significant amount of pressure against that team. I think they were where they wanted to be in that matchup. They just need to sort of survive a little bit longer if they can.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So Karma was already used. I mean, Karma just came back up at the very end there, but...
Yeah, Zileawong used his Trinket, he used his Bubble, he had no Aura Mastery.
Wings, Wall, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So Tolvaron Arena is the next map of choice coming out from this team, getting that bigger map. So we're just gonna jump right into it. This is the third map of this best of 5 series. I have a thing. There it is. Alright, this is Tolvaron Arena. This is chosen by Tony from the Bronx. Can they bring it back? It is 2-0, and they are one loss away from being eliminated. But, I mean, that last game was very close. It could go either way.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. I'm really excited to see a Windwalker monk in the tournament doing this well at that. I mean, this balance and Zeyond has got them this far, but
yeah,
they're doing good.
Yeah, it's a good comp. It's very, very strong. Has a lot of potential. So honestly, it's no surprise that they're doing well, because if this comp's played well, it's difficult to deal with. They're really hard to kill. They just have so many defensive abilities and so much damage.
I never thought we'd be talking about defensives with a Windwalker monk, man. They were kind of hopeless before. But yeah, they're good now.
Yeah. Lyric's taking a little bit of damage. Super T is just sitting behind the pillar, popping that Tranquility. He is fully hotted. Balance coming in with the in-cap leg sweep on him. Hurricane Strikes does come out. Super T is choosing not to Iron Bark there, or Bark Skin, and he is just going to pop the Heart of the Wild and try to heal himself up. Hopefully that sort of greedy play pays off for him. I think it will. He's just going to use that heart and heal up, not even having to use the Bark Skin on Balance's Hurricane Strike, which is well played by him.
Balance's Hurricane Strike and Gargoyle, man. That was a greedy play, but it is definitely working out for him. The bash goes out into Zileawong and Revo. He's taking quite a bit of damage at this point. Super T's doing a great job just kiting around with his Trent healing him. Gargoyle's still out, but Super T isn't pressured at all right now. And but the pressure is on this 50 Shades of mcquade at this time. Both these double melee are just constantly slowed by this turbo cleave. But Super T's going for that Cyclone on the Revo. Balance dropping dangerously low here. He's not using any of his defensives just yet. No, he did actually use his wall, but no karma coming out for now. Zileawong's not into any CC. He's pushing in. They want to get some damage on the Super T's. Barkskin comes out. This is the breath. Lots of damage coming out on the Super T's. He's trying to get away. He's trying to use nothing but that Barkskin. He still has Nature Swiftness available to him in 5 more seconds, and he ends up not using his Iron Bark. Yeah,
they're doing a great job peeling. I think they're just shockwave hexing Balance, so they can't really follow up. Tony Jr. having to pop a strong wall down around 60%, but I think he'll be fine. It's kind of just like they're kind of just hitting what they can until they have stunts for Super T's, and I feel like Super T's is really their only kill target. Meanwhile, Zilia caught into the bash, and Revolution taking a little bit of damage by this turbo cleave, having to pop that AMS, is going to get healed up from Zileawong now that he's out of the Cyclone. But he's still hovering dangerously low, down to 36%. Super T's pre-Iron Barking himself, ready for that swap. He still has his Trinket, nice. Barkskin almost back up, and that was a beautiful pre-Iron Bark on the stun, kind of making them waste that Asphyxiate and that Hodge. So well done by him, popping that and asking it, top himself off, and he's just kiting around this pillar. And Lyrics is making it so difficult for Revolutions to actually connect to him. But Balance, forcing the Barkskin by himself with those Chi Torpedoes, doing an incredible amount of damage. Super T is desperately trying to top himself. He is just going to get in-capped, and for now, Balance is going to leave him alone. But Zileawong having to bubble, Tony and Lyrics answering with that counter pressure. Super T's caught into the leg sweep. He does have Trinket available, but he's not going to use it. The DR Fist of Fury comes out. Tony Jr. coming in, tossing some heals onto Super T's. Hopefully he can survive. I mean, the Rallying Cry comes out by Lyrics. He needs to get away. He needs to try to top himself off. But Balance and Revolution doing such an excellent job just sticking on him.
Yeah, Super T's, this is scary. Just Balance alone and Melman are just going at it on the Super T's. Zileawong, though, he has no bubble. He's got Avenging Wrath up, but is it going to be enough? There's the Execution Sentence, but it gets purged instantly. Zileawong could be in a little bit of trouble here. Super T's already preemptively using that Iron Bark on himself to prevent that. And, you know, something to note this whole time is that now that they're on Revo, this game, Revo's rarely in Unholy presence because of that, and I feel like that's really affecting the pressure that this Walking Dead team has. But Super T's preemptively going into that bear form, just really trying to prevent these hard swaps as best he can, but they're setting it up. That was the paralysis. He gets in the bear form anyway. The Hex goes out on the Balance. Oh man, this Turbo Cleave is doing a great job peeling for Super T's. Yeah, this big pillar allows him to kite away from Revolution quite well, but he gets caught. Here comes the breath onto Super T's. He has to Barkskin that. Light Sweep comes out. He doesn't really have too much besides that Barkskin. The NS comes out, using that dash to get away as fast as he can. Revolution taking a lot of damage, though. Lyrics and Tony Jr. just sitting on his back, forcing him to overextend and get pressured. And he's just going to have to sit in the middle of the map and get those heals from Zileawong. And because of that, Super T's is going to be able to top himself. Balance goes into the Bash clone from Super T's. So Super T is not going to be in a lot of pressure right now. Zileawong getting full hexed, having to Trinket that because Revolution is just taking so much damage right now. And they're actually going to swap over onto Zileawong now that he has no Trinket, he has no bubble. He does have some bops available, but those aren't going to be too effective against an Enhancement Shaman. Yeah, not at all. Super T's using the Iron Bark again, trying to predict these swaps, and he's going to be okay for now. His team's doing a great job peeling for him, but I feel like going onto Revo is really an important thing to do. I mean, making him slow and also making him in that blood presence is is a big deal, but now the pressure going onto Tony, he's using that Shaman Rage instantly, just trying to prevent the damage that's coming in. And I like how they swap over to Zileawong. I think this is a good move. I think that putting that pressure onto that healer, there's the Avenging Wrath, though, to answer this swap onto Zileawong. He's hovering at 50% health here. He's got Aura Master, he's going to use it. He's going to be okay for now, but Supatees, he's in some trouble.
Yeah, he Balance ended up using that Hurricane Strike while Supatees had the Iron Bark on himself. Safeguard comes out from Lyrics on his Supatees, and if we look at Supatees' cooldowns, he only really has Trinket available, so the next full stun he's caught into, unless he can pre-Iron Bark it, he's going to have to Trinket. But he is rotating his cooldowns appropriately. Zileawong caught into the Fear. It is going to break, and they're just going to sit on him, trying to force a lot of pressure on this healer, forcing Revolution and Balance to sort of come back. Balance caught into the full bash. He's going to get cloned by Supatees. Supatees doing an excellent job CCing this DPS off himself, and Zileawong still under a lot of pressure. The full shockwave comes off. The bop comes up. It does get purged off, so like I said, bop not particularly effective against these enhancement shamans. Supatees pre-Iron Barking, actually having to Trinket Iron Bark there to get away, but if you look at his cooldowns again, he does have Bark Skin, and he will have NS available for the next swap. So he always has something. He's not leaving himself with no cooldowns, which is exactly what he needs to do against exactly what he needs to do to live against a team like this. Meanwhile, Zileawong down to around 40%. Saved by the light procs. Recklessness coming out from Lyrics right now. Does get gripped away by Revo, and Zileawong's going to be able to get away and top himself off. Supatees under a lot of pressure, having to use that Bark Skin right there, getting behind the pillar, topping himself off. Revolution down to 20%, taking so much damage. Zileawong popping those wings, trying to top him off, but he does get caught into the full hex. He's going to immediately Trinket that, and I think because of these wing seals, Revolution should be okay for now, but both teams doing so much damage.
Yeah, it's really hard. Ever since Revo switched back to Unholy Presence, he's been taking a lot of damage. Zileawong now, he could be in some trouble. He has wings available to him. In 50 seconds, he does have the bubble, but they're going to swap off. They're going to help Supatees out. That's a lot of damage. That's breath onto Supatees as well. Fist of Fury comes out. He's at 20% health. Your Iron Bar coming out. Tony Jr. in the Haji can't help at all. He's in trouble. The dash comes out. Is it going to be enough? 10% health. He didn't touch a Death Rage, but he's going to be okay. No, he's not. He gets gripped back. Oh, and that was the Shadow Meld coming out. Is it going to be enough to heal him? He's a Live Lord, he's alive, he's at 30% health here. I'm not sure how he was in touch of death range, but Balance just couldn't not connect Revo now in that full hex, and Lyrics doing a really great job peeling Balance off of him.
Yeah, and Supatees now has that Bark Skin up. Beautiful use of the Heart of the Wild there to cause his healing to be a little bit more powerful to keep him alive. Balance down to 26%, tossing out the heals on himself. Revolution still down to around 38%. And Zileawong's bubble is going to be up, so he's going to have that cooldown to sort of keep himself up. But they're under a lot of pressure here. And Supatees answering that full asphyxiate on him with the Bark Skin. The Safeguard coming out from Lyrics on to Supatees. He's not going to be taking that much damage right now, but it might be hard for him to actually top himself. But Lyrics doing an excellent job healing both Revolution and Balance, keeping him off. Tony Jr. caught into the Hodge, and it looks like they're going to switch it over to Lyrics now, forcing Supatees to use that Tranquility to keep his teammates up. I mean, he wants to do that healing out of line of sight. Meanwhile, Zileawong caught into the full shockwave, getting decimated by Lyrics and Tony Jr. having to use that wings to sort of get himself up. Just fake casting over and over. Does get off that Holy Light. The Aura Mastery does come out, but he does get caught into that full hex, and I guess it broke, but that was a good hex by Tony Jr. Supatees having to Iron Bark himself, and he does have Trinket and NS available for the next swap that's going to be coming out. Tony Jr. under pressure, though. Supatees having to not forget about him, and his mana might end up becoming an issue as dampening stacks higher and higher. We are at 22% dampening right now, and both healers are down to around 20% mana.
Yeah, Recklessness coming out from Lyrics and Shaman Rage from Tony Jr. They're trying to swap the pressure over to this Walking Dead, but like you said, 23% dampening. Supatees' mana right now is at 15%, and he just trinketed right there. But at the same time, look at Zileawong. He's at 10% mana. Balance now, 50% healthier. I mean, he has Karma available to him, but this is starting to look like a mana war. The double shockwave on both the DPS coming out from Lyrics, that was a good shockwave. 50% healthier on Revo. He's forced into blood. Once again, AMS coming out. The paralysis on the Supatees, though. That's the fear that was trinketed on Zileawong. He's at 9% mana. Iron Bark onto Supatees. He's worried about that damage coming out from Balance as he is put into that full Fist of Fury.
Yeah, and Balance actually forcing both the Barkskin and NS from Supatees there, and he does as well use the Iron Bark, so he's not going to have anything for 40 seconds minimum. If they can get any sort of swap on him in the next 40 seconds, Supatees will be dead on the ground unless he gets massive peels from his team. Zileawong down to 2% mana though, desperately trying to keep himself up. Here comes the Wings, just trying to get casts off as much as he can. This is just such a high pressure game. Both teams just so low on mana right now.
Wow.
Zileawong still has those wings up, and I think he'll be okay as long as those wings are up. Gets charged on his heel. The Save by the Light comes up. Holy Light coming out from Zileawong, getting the Word of Glories up on himself. And Tony Jr. just goes down. Supatees didn't have anything available for him, and they were able to just kill Tony Jr. I mean, the deeper dampening goes, the less effective those Enhancement Shaman heals are, and it's just so hard for him to keep himself up through the damage of Balance and Revo.
Yeah, we're at 32% dampening right now, so it is incredibly hard, but that was very, very close. Zileawong was just about tapped there, but that is going to be a 3-0 for 50 Shades of McQuade, and they will advance to the finals. But right before we talk about the finals, let's take a quick look at that replay. Zileawong here, literally at 2% health, and Lyrics is doing a great job preventing these heals, even getting that charge stun off. The Save by the Light procs, and he gets the heals up, but look at Tony Jr., he's at 12% health here. Supatees in that full stun, he had a little bit of mana in the tank, but it just wasn't enough, and there it is, 3-0 for 50 Shades of McQuade, but that Turbo Cleave definitely fought well, and we'll be seeing them in the bronze match very, very shortly. But that being said, up next,